Hello, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna do my TBR game today, a little late again. I did want to get the new board set up and I kind of went down a reading rabbit hole. I read a lot of manga instead of reading what I had on my TBR for April. So there's that. But I would like to get back on track now and see what I'm going to read this month. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll go ahead and switch to my other camera and hopefully you can see it okay. The board is similar to the last one, but just with a couple of new changes. Hopefully there aren't any glaring colors anymore because I used all matte paint instead of glossy. That was kind of an issue, and I did kind of a more, I guess, balanced color ratio, I guess you could say. So let me go ahead and roll for our first one, and I got a 7. I did intend to see if we had some dice that were a little easier to see on camera too, but I guess that'll be for another time. So I got 7. So 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. So that's light blue. I decided to do dark blue for my TBR cards, and then I have light blue for my TBR jar papers because those are light blue in here. I know these are ebooks. I don't remember which platform they are for. Eventually I will do a screen card deep down. So I'll look that up and I'll put that up on the screen. So let me pull that one up. So we have deep down for our first one. I'm going to go ahead and roll for the second one and I'll try and insert the details for deep down later on in the video. Okay, next we got 5. Sub-box book, that's good. I have been wanting to, one thing I decided to do is that I would prompts on the board, so if I land on them, I'll more likely be able to fit in officially books that I had planned on reading this year. So I'm going to go ahead and put the book that I got from Book of the Month for May on for this slot. I haven't actually read any of the books that I've gotten yet this year. So I'm like 5 months behind. That sounds so terrible. This is Seek the Traitor's Son by Veronica Roth. Very pretty ombre cover. That's cool. And we have a map inside. That's kind of cool. As for the plot, I do not remember. I guess I'll just go ahead and read the blurb. The daughter of a bounty hunter, the knight sworn to protect her, the prophecy that destroys their lives. That tagline sounds right up my alley. I could read more of the synopsis, but I think that gives me enough of an idea to be excited about reading the book. So that will be my second book on my TBR for May. Again. 4. Okay, these are cover design cards. So let's draw. Oops, you can't see. Forgot to change. I'm good. I just missed the roll. So, okay, so here's the cards. I didn't mix them up yet. I did put some of the old cards that I've drawn before back in the deck, so it's not quite as sparse. Let me just go with this one, I think. A mythical creature on the cover. Okay, mythical creature. This one should work. Okay, so for my third book, I got, I'm gonna do Bloodbound by Ellis Hunter. It's another Book of the Month book. And it does have a, I guess you'd call it a griffin or a chimera on the front. So that's a mythical creature. That works for me. Ooh, the inside is cool. There's also a dragon. Oops. That is very cool. And the edge art is quite nice. You cannot forfeit, you cannot run, you duel, or you die. Why am I stumbling over my words today? Astrid has always known she is destined to die. She is the last Nocturne witch and heir to the queendom of Churia, cursed by a centuries-old covenant to duel the heir to the kingdom of Vatra for the source of all magic, the heart. Now Astrid's time is up. She's heading into enemy territory to face Prince Zyron, the most powerful dragon rider in eons, with only her familiar, her potions, and her wits to aid her. That sounds interesting, of course. Again, it's a fantasy. I was kind of hoping for a little more variety, but it is what it is. Hopefully I actually get to it, and we'll go ahead and roll again. Sorry. One. I was kind of hoping to get fewer books, but now that I was kind of in a little bit of a book slump, so now that I'm kind of out of it, hopefully that means actually get to them. Ooh, At the Back of the North Wind. This one's by George MacDonald. It's this kind of a fairy tale-esque book. And about a young boy who rides the back of the north wind. Kind of goes on an adventure. He stays in a barn in the loft, and he's cold. I remember that much of it. I've read it a really long time ago, or somebody read it to me. I don't remember. But regardless, it's kind of a reread, but it's kind of also in like an old-timey language writing style, so it's a little harder to get through, but regardless, we'll go 10. And we got another blue. Apparently I'm gonna read lots of ebooks this month. Which isn't a bad thing. Except that I want to read down my physical TBR more. Bay Away. Sounds like another fantasy. I'll have to look that one up too. I wanted to give kind of more options for some of these prompts, but I may not get the chance to do that. It's 12. And I think, how many do I have? I have 3, 4, 5 books. Typically I don't do, I'm kind of torn because I added black circles to the game board for the Illumicrate deck. Or I guess it's a deck that I got in an Illumicrate box. But sometimes I'll use the finish as an Illumicrate spot as well, depending on the number of books that I have on my TBR. Right now I have 5, but I can't remember if 5 or more I don't draw a card, or like 6 or more if I don't draw a card, or if it and 5 or less I draw one. I do have 20 days left, and I would kind of like to get to some of my other books, but it almost kind of seems a shame not to get kind of a more exciting option maybe. So maybe we'll draw this one as an optional because it's the last square. Maybe and black is actually a book you never finished. Okay, so I have a few of these. I don't know how, I guess, strict I want to be with Because this sounds like something that you started a long time ago and never finished, and not something that you recently put down and just haven't picked back up yet. So I do have a few options. I think the three that I'm going to decide between are House of Leaves, which my husband got me for Christmas one year, and not very far into it, if you can tell. And I think I got that at least a couple of years ago. And then this is probably around the same time. This one's been on my TBR for a while. Ruthless Fae by Carolyn Peckham and Susan Valenti. It's just very YA. I did finish the first one. I hear they get better the further in the series that you get. So I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt. And then I also have a nonfiction, which would help with the diversity in my TBR this month. It's In the Flow by Alyssa Vitti. And I don't know if I'm really in the mood for a nonfiction, which, to be fair, I'm not in the mood for nonfiction very often, and it seems like a really helpful book to have read, so I think I'm going to go ahead and go with this one, because I've already got lots of fantasy, so I don't need another one. And House of Leaves is kind of one of those books you want to take your time with, I think, and it's kind of a thriller-ish horror book, I think. If I remember right. I know it's weird and has some very strange media involved with it. So yeah, because I think even Back of the North Wind is kind of fantasy. Fade Away has definitely got to be fantasy. Deep Down might be like a crime novel, romance type book, maybe. Just based on my tastes and what I usually pick for ebooks. So we'll see. This one is an optional one though, because it was the last space. I think I might start using that as a rule, and I may try getting at least farther than the introduction. So I think I'm still on, I've only ever read the introduction. And I think I've read it 2 or 3 times. And I do have an audiobook to go along with it to immersion read, because I really want to pay attention to the material and actually absorb it instead of just kind of, I guess, have it go in one ear and out the other. I want to actually understand what I'm reading, kind of like reading a textbook almost. But I guess we'll see what happens. Let me find my Goodreads. Fade Away is by Rose Garcia. It's #1 in the Fae Bloodlines series. It says 2 forbidden rules, 1 deadly secret, a love that could shatter realms. Princess Celise has never broken the laws of the Fae. Rule 1, never touch a portal. Rule 2, never kiss a human. But when she discovers a hidden gateway to the mortal world and the boy who can see her through it, curiosity becomes obsession. Night after night, she and Giulio meet in the shadows between realms, their forbidden connection deepening into something neither can deny. Of course, there's more to the synopsis, but I think that kind of gives us an idea of where this book is going. So that is Fade Away by Rose Garcia. Now this one's by George MacDonald. It's the haunting and memorable story of Diamond, the coachman's son, and his adventures with the mysterious North Wind. Leaving his little hayloft behind, Diamond sets off with North Wind, flying through the night on all sorts of strange, beautiful, and sometimes even dangerous missions. It was first published in 1871. This was the first and best-known children's book by George MacDonald, who mentored Lewis Carroll and inspired writers such as C.S. Lewis and J.R.R. Tolkien. I have read from his books before. I really enjoy them. I think this is a short story. Well, maybe not. 346 pages. That's not a short story. And then Deep Down, I think these are Google books. Okay, this definitely gives me suspense thriller vibes. So we have Deep Down by Brenda Rothert. It's book 1 of the Lockhart brothers. It says, I'm falling faster, further, deeper. Sometimes you fall so hard you can't get back up. My closest companions now are shame and loss, but a sliver of hope lies in the only person I have left in this world, the one who's growing Oh, the one who's growing inside me. I didn't know this had a pregnancy trope. Survival becomes living again because of my child and the town where I begin anew. That's where I meet the man who starts to melt the ice inside my heart. Okay, so this is more of a romance. Sounds like she's dealing with grief, maybe, potentially. I guess we'll see how things go, but we'll give it a shot. I'm not a huge fan of pregnancy tropes in books, but so anyway. Most of the Google books that I have were free books that were advertised and sounded interesting at the time. I have no idea when I got this one. I don't even know what the publication date is. 2015? So that's 6 years? No, 11 years ago is when this was published, so I've probably owned it for 11 years. I don't read many of my Google books, probably because they were just free ones that I was mildly interested in, but didn't necessarily have enough interest to actually go out of my way to read them, if that makes any sense. So I've kind of obviously made an effort to try and get to them, and I guess we'll see what happens. If I don't like it, I guess I can just DNF it because I didn't pay for it, as far as I know, or it was like 99 cents. So it's not like I'm out any money if I don't. It could be good. Maybe it'll surprise me. But that will be it for me today. When I get around to doing a wrap-up, it will be a little bit more robust than usual, despite the fact that I didn't read any of my April TBR books last month. Instead, I don't know what I started out at, but I'm now at 81 books read this year. Because I kind of went down a manga rabbit hole and enjoyed every minute of it. But yeah. So these are the 3 physical books that I have on my TBR. And then I also have 3 ebooks. So kind of a nice balance, I guess, in that regard. Not necessarily in genre. But that's it for me today. Hope you enjoyed. Hopefully I will get to a wrap-up at some point. But hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you have a good reading month. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And, oh, before I go, I did want to mention I put a space on the board for community prompts. So if you would like to leave a prompt in the comments, that would be greatly appreciated. I can use that if I ever land on that space in the future. But I think it is actually the end this time, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye!